Lore of the Old World, Ravening Hordes, Chapter 3, Warriors of Chaos. From the frozen north march the warriors of chaos, merciless killers possessing brute strength and skill in fearsome measure. With them come iron-clad chaos knights and mighty chosen, their baroque armor aflame with the favor of dark gods. These indomitable killers march to war alongside great hordes of barbarian marauders, drawn from savage tribes. Amongst their ranks stand trolls, chimera, and still fouler things, charged by their masters to lay waste to the old world. The men of the north are fundamentally the same as their southern kin, though they may differ in custom and appearance. The differences between the barbarian tribesmen that dwell in the frozen north and those that reside in the great cities of the south are laughably slight compared to the differences between man and dwarf or man and elf. This similarity does not preclude war and strife between the differing civilizations, of course. After all, though all human societies share a common heritage and belong to the same race, in their secret hearts all men harbour a desire to conquer and control. In the north, every day is a struggle to survive as the gods play their deadly games, using mankind as their pawns. The desolate harshness of the northern wastes does not encourage the luxury of introspection or encourage debate upon matters of philosophy and religion. The gods simply exist, as undeniable as the wind and the night, impossibly powerful entities that would mould the clay of human flesh and frozen earth into grotesque new shapes at whim. To deny this state of affairs would be as futile as denying that the sun sets each day or that the moon rises each evening. Because of the omnipresence of the dark gods in the reaches of the north, the tribes that carve out their lives there are devout indeed, making human sacrifices and offering up the deaths of those they slay on the battlefield with each passing day. To the Northlanders, the favour of their gods is a vital and glorious part of their lives. Marauder tribesmen commune with their deities directly, dedicating body and soul to the gods rather than offering prayers at the behest of sanctimonious priest or narrow-minded patriarchs. The dark gods are mighty forces that stand behind the tribes of chaos, rewarding the brave, confounding their foes, and destroying the weakling gods of the south. They play with the lives and dreams of mortals much as a wicked child plays with a teeming anthill, for to the gods, mortal lives and ambitions are as short-lived and insignificant as insects. They are feared by all the races of men, even those who whisper their names in the dead of night. Barbaric and primal, the dark gods stand in stark contrast to the refined, sophisticated and civilized deities of the south, and many legendary tales exist of wars in the heavens between the gods of men, dwarves and elves. The gods are made real because they are unwittingly created in the minds of mortals. The idea of gods gives these entities birth and endows them with the power of good and ill. From the minds of men are born spirits of multitudinous kinds. All are but the creation of the mortal vice and virtue, of mortal strength and frailty, from the greatest to the slightest, and from the most noble to the most base. Such is the pantheon of chaos, a dark reflection of mankind's own nature. The chaos gods value their human followers far above their own minions, the demons that serve them and creatures of chaos whose forebears they created. For demons and beasts of chaos have little choice about their nature. The only way the chaos gods can increase their power is by recruiting men or other intelligent, free-willed creatures to their cause. The most important followers of the gods are therefore champions of chaos, warriors chosen by the ruinous powers as their greatest servants. Some of these souls are easily won, brigands, bandits and outcasts who would willingly follow any leader that brought them plunder and offered them protection. Such individuals are all too common in the old world, but there are few strong-willed and powerful enough to walk upon the path of damnation as a champion of chaos. The chaos gods take great interest in their champions, and will favour them with all manner of gifts, including magical weapons, armour and talismans, arcane abilities and, strangest of all, physical mutations, such as tentacles, bestial faces and razor-sharp talons. These gifts are borne with pride by the champions, as a symbol of their complete allegiance to their master. Such champions are representatives of the chaos gods, and as such they constantly strive to outdo each other. Sometimes their masters send them visions or direct them to band together with other creatures of chaos to sack a castle or destroy an army. On other occasions, rival champions will be deliberately set upon each other to determine who is fit to be rewarded with fresh gifts. Should one who has been chosen continue to excel, they may rise to the rank of Chaos Lord and come to lead armies of thousands. Chaos Lords are amongst the mightiest warlords that walk the surface of the world, and their names blight all of history. Fortunately for the civilized world, perhaps one in several thousand who set foot upon the path of chaos reach this pinnacle of martial perfection. The ultimate reward for a successful champion is that they should be gifted with immortality as a demon prince, so that they can live forever by their master's side and continue to fight on their behalf. It is this dream that drives the champions of chaos onwards, although few will achieve immortality. For most aspirants, the final reward for selling their soul to chaos will be an unmarked grave upon some corpse-strewn battlefield. However, there is a worse fate than death, reserved for those champions who receive too many of their patrons' dubious gifts. Should the champion's mortal frame prove unable to contain the arcane energies seething through it, their mind and body will run like wax, reshaped by the raw essence of chaos, until it becomes a monstrous mass of flesh and fang, whose form defies all reason. Such gibbering brutes are called Chaos Spawn, and even the most vaunted Chaos Lord can find their body hideously transmuted in an instant, consigned to a life of mindless violence merely for the entertainment of the dark gods. Yet rather than be reviled by their people, such unfortunates are given succour and allowed to remain in their tribe. Indeed, in some ways, the Chaos Spawn are revered by their kin, for the marauder tribes believe that it is better to live even the briefest and most vile of existence at the behest of the gods than to grow old without drawing their notice. Every champion of chaos has travelled a long and perilous road to preeminence, a road paved with the broken corpses of less successful aspirants. Regardless of their individual abilities, they are, without exception, unceasingly powerful warriors, combining the strength of a troll with the speed of a striking snake. Each champion's abilities are enhanced further by gifts from their patrons, for none save the demon princes themselves enjoy more favour in the eyes of the gods. A champion may have skin that ripples with iridescent flame, a forbidding gaze that can turn a foe's guts to water, or the wrath of a wounded bear. To stand against one of their number is to invite a sudden and brutal death. There are those mortals who follow chaos with a deep and fervent faith, pledging themselves body and soul to the service of the ruinous powers. They know that there is a great prize for those who show unflinching devotion. Should a champion survive the endless battles and the ravaging mutations granted by their masters while still finding favour in the eyes of their fickle gods, they may attain the ultimate reward. Elevated by their patron to demonhood, a demon prince is a being of godlike power that wages eternal war in their patron's name. Tirelessly they hunt the enemies of their masters, for their meat is human flesh, and their wine mortal souls. Chaos sorcerers, as those champions of chaos who seek mastery over the magical arts are known, wield the wild energies of chaos itself, reshaping realities to better serve the whims of their dark masters. Where others glean their arcane skill through diligent study, a chaos sorcerer's understanding of the winds of magic is instant and innate. A word and a gesture from a chaos sorcerer can strip the flesh of a single foe from their bones, or cause an entire regiment to burst into flame. But these strange gifts are bought at a great price, for they must sell their soul in exchange for such pure power, and eventually every sorcerer will be plunged into insanity and damnation. Chaos steeds are gifts from the dark gods themselves. They are vicious creatures with the needle-sharp teeth of a carnivore, and a cruel intelligence that shows subservience to their master alone. Armoured for battle with bladed metal barding that no normal steed could bear, Chaos steeds gore and slash all that stand before them with horns and hooves. Known also as steeds of the gods, demonic mounts are created from foul sorcery, and summoned to the world by ceremonies of dark sacrifice and appeasement. Many demonic mounts have sharp horns, bony plates, and fangs of steel corrupting their immortal bodies, and their eyes burn with the fires of chaos. A Chaos Warrior needs not food, drink, or sleep, for their body and soul are nourished by the carnage that they wreak. Their home is under the cold, uncaring skies. Their hearth is the baroque armour that covers every inch of their skin. They have no family other than the fellow warriors that walk the land at their side, butchers and madmen all. A Chaos Warrior is no longer truly human. Rather, they are a living weapon of the ruinous powers, honed to perfection upon the anvil of hardship, and tempered in the fires of battle. A Chaos Warrior is a weapon wielded by cruel gods in an unceasing war upon the world, and all that dwell within it. There are those amongst the ranks of the Chaos Warriors who bear the favour of the dark gods more so than their fellows. Known amongst their kind as Chosen, they possess supernatural abilities to aid them in their constant war against order and sanity, and are dreaded across the old world and beyond. The Chosen are shrouded in legend and rumour, that those who join their ranks have never tasted defeat, that each of them has killed a champion of a rival god in single combat, that their skin is tough as rock and their minds aflame with raw power. One thing is certain, each of them has pleased the gods in some way, and has been rewarded accordingly. The innumerable peoples of the north are known as the marauder tribes. The men and women that belong to these barbarian clans are natural fighters, born into hardship and brought up in a world where surviving each day is a small victory. Only the strong prosper in the marauder tribes of the north, for the weak are weeded out at an early age. Every member of the tribe is expected to be a tough and capable warrior, independent and fierce. They have no time for plowshare or sickle, for their tools are the axe, the sword, and the shield. What their own lands cannot provide, they simply take by force, mercilessly plundering and pillaging the civilized nations of the world. Forsaken are frothing maniacs that howl and scream as they sprint towards the enemy's lines. Mutated limbs flailing and distended jaws snapping like those of ravenous beasts. Though they were once proud and mighty Chaos Warriors, the severe mutations bestowed upon them have left them as something less than human, with no more understanding of battlefield tactics than the hounds that gather around their bone-strewn lairs. These unfortunates have been forsaken by the gods, reduced to the level of animals that snarl and growl in a guttural parody of true language. Where they once killed in the name of martial ambition and the glory of the dark gods, they now kill with a savage and unnatural hunger. Ogres are brutal, muscle-bound thugs to whom only two things really matter: fighting and eating. They roam the world, often hiring out their services as mercenaries in exchange for weaponry and food. Though they have the basic form of a man, ogres are twice as tall and far more savage in appearance. They are often, and quite rightly, thought by other races to be ignorant and gluttonous creatures that only care about filling their guts. Although ogres are resistant to mutation, the baleful energies that spill into the world from the realm of chaos are strong indeed. As a result, those that stray into the far north are warped and twisted in the manner of all creatures that dwell in the wastes. Trolls are malformed and dim-witted monsters with a taste for human flesh. They tower over normal men, and when roused their bestial wrath is terrifying to behold. They roam the northern waste, preying on isolated villages and travellers. The indomitable constitution of these monsters makes them the perfect clay for the mutating energies of chaos. Trolls have powerful regenerative abilities. However, northern trolls will not regenerate their flesh in the same form as their previous incarnation, but will instead sprout a new limb, a screaming maw, or an even stranger mutation from every new wound. So it is that the oldest trolls of the north are true monsters, whose flesh pays host to dozens of moaning heads and grasping claws. Those who follow the path of chaos are damned. The only question left to one who has put their fate in the hands of the dark gods is the nature of their damnation. Will they lose their reason, reduced to a cackling wretch who can do naught but praise the gods who robbed away their sanity? Many lose their self-control, becoming little more than mad slaughterers that kill and kill until they themselves lie dead in the dirt. But even then there are worse fates than insanity and death. There are those who fall even further from grace, who lose everything and become gibbering mounds of mutated flesh. They are known as Chaos Spawn, and they are the true children of the gods. Chaos Knights are towering brutes clad in heavy plate. They ride to war with great lances, evil-looking polearms designed to impale and tear, and their blades and maces flicker with dark fire. A Chaos Knight's spurs are jagged blades, well suited to slicing through the flesh of the enemy. The frightful reputation of Chaos Knights is a weapon in its own right, crippling those who would stand against them before a single blow is struck. Chaos Knights consider themselves superior to other warriors of Chaos. They bow to none save a Chaos Lord or Demon Prince, and even then they will not dip their banner, for their collective pride is the equal of their martial prowess. Most favoured of the gods are the chosen Knights of Chaos, each of whom has been marked out for greatness, as a paragon amongst their warrior brethren, for each has trod the path of damnation for many years. The chosen Knights of Chaos have physical manifestations of their god's power, their bodies warped and strengthened by mutation. A chosen Knight's towering form is infused with the power of Chaos. Their horned helmet may conceal a twisted and permanent rictus, smile of a sharp metallic fangs, or a striking and cold beauty that steals the breath away. Few have a chance to find out, for those who behold the chosen Knights of Chaos are but moments away from a grisly end. Some among the marauder tribes hold horses in high esteem, while others regard them at best as something to be treated with suspicion, and at worst a dangerous liability. To many a war horse is a sign of status, and only the best warriors may ride them. The steeds ridden by these tribes are powerful beasts, foul-tempered and strong of limb. Once a rider has broken such a horse, it will remain loyal until death, but remains vicious and unruly should a stranger approach. Fed on a diet of human flesh and watered-down blood, these snorting, high-spirited steeds have a glint of intelligent menace in their eyes, and will trample, kick, and bite as if berserk when engaged at close quarters. Chaos Warhounds are tireless hunters, built of little more than muscle and fang, made all the more horrifying by the warping effects of chaos, causing them to sprout horns, tusks, and spines. Warped in mind as well as body, they prowl the wilderness in ravening packs, running down prey that ranges in size from stray children to young ice mammoths. Many among the marauder tribes breed and train massive hounds for a variety of purposes, such as hunting and sport. Some Kurgan's tribes delight in the spectacle of trained pit hounds fighting against bears, trolls, and other creatures. Generations of selective breeding by dedicated handlers has created the most vicious and powerful hounds. Chaos chariots are more than just machines of war. They are a symbol of status and power. Often a champion of chaos will ride to battle upon a chariot festooned with icons and pennants, fashioned from the remains of those they have ground beneath their wheels, grisly trophies proclaiming their many victories and devotion to the dark gods. Unlike the comparatively flimsy wooden chariots used by other races, the carriages of chaos war machines are wrought of iron and drenched in blood. Chaos chariots weigh so much that when they have gathered pace, nothing short of a castle wall can halt their charge. Worse still, their stout wheels sport great spinning scythes that scream and shriek as they slice into the foe. Gore-beast chariots are even heavier and sturdier than other chaos chariots. No normal beast would have the strength to pull such a massive instrument of war, and they are therefore pulled into battle by a gore-beast, a muscular creature renowned for its violent temperament. These grunting brutes strike their prey with such shocking force that those not impaled upon jutting armor spikes are torn apart by the impact. Even the lowliest of beasts recognize the bulky shape of a gore-beast as synonymous with death. Each iron-clad chariot drawn by one of these formidable mutants is thus followed at some distance by circling carrion crows and slinking scavenger hounds waiting to feast on the bloody remnants of the gore-beast's grim harvest. Manticores are huge, leonine beasts that soar through the sky on leathery wings. They are amongst the most powerful of all the predators that inhabit the bleak mountain ranges of the frozen north, and the mutating power of chaos ensures that no two manticores are truly alike. Some have manes of writhing serpents, others pelts of iron scales, and many sprout spiked tails that excrete a poison strong enough to boil the blood of an adult human in their veins. However, all manticores share one common trait. They are berserk killers, saturated with primal fury. They are so fierce that they are held by the Dark Elves to be incarnations of Cain, the god of murder. Once the proud and noble rulers of the skies, now split, changed and corrupted by the ruinous powers, the terrible two-headed dragons of chaos are nightmarish and malevolent predators. Borne aloft on wings no longer made of mere flesh and bone, a chaos dragon is a nemesis of order and sanity, a horror of ancient age and power that can break the backs of armies with its steel claws and teeth. Their twin maws breathe death upon their foes, one exhaling dark flame as the other emits corrosive gas. Only the most powerful lords of chaos can ride such a monster, and even then it is more an unholy alliance of destruction than a matter of master and servant. The three-headed chimera is one of the most fearsome of all creatures, a beast whose progenitors were so warped that it is now impossible to say what manner of beast that might once have been. Like all monsters that dwell in or near to the realm of chaos, the chimerae take many bizarre shapes. However, chimerae are more susceptible than most monsters to the twisting power of chaos. The heads of some chimerae breathe fire in the manner of dragons, whilst others spout razor-sharp fangs or jaws that drip with a poisonous slime. Most chimerae possess a fiendish tail that ends in a snapping maw possessed of an intelligence and hunger of its own. Part demon, part war machine, a hell cannon is a massive construct of metal that growls and shakes with demonic sentience. In battle, hell cannons are guided by teams of corrupt and sadistic chaos dwarves. These malign warsmiths escort and restrain their charges, loading them by shoveling the bodies of their enemies into the hell cannon's dire furnace, where flesh runs like wax as the demon machine feasts on body and bone. Soon only the souls of its victims are left, harnessed in the hell cannon's gunnet as a crackling bolts of energy that are fired towards the enemy in powerful spasms of malice. These crackling blasts of raw energy soar through the air into their targets, liquefying anything they touch and sending the survivors insane with fear. In darkened workshops, over infernal forge fires, the armourers of chaos toil endlessly, hammering blackened iron into brutal weapons and crude suits of baroque plate mail. Many of these wicked weapons are inscribed with eye-watering ruins and imbued with malefic power, and many suits of forge-blackened plate are decorated with baroque details which twist and writhe with a life of their own. In unholy rituals, sorcerers chant strange syllables as they daub demonic ichor into blood-stained banners and carve the likenesses of their dark gods from chunks of warpstone and the bones of fallen enemies, creating evil charms and arcane tools, the better to control the winds of magic and practice their profane arts.